Well, good morning. As we come today to think about the ministries, to pray about the ministries that go on in the church, it made me think, even in these COVID hit times, of what goes on and all the things that need to happen to keep the ministries going at Holbrooks, whether it be the Sunday services or whether it's juniors or all the other things that go on, prayer meeting. There are lots of things that need to happen to keep these ministries going. And it reminded me of a couple of verses in 1 Peter chapter 4. And it says this: "As each one has received a gift, minister it to one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. If anyone speaks, let him speak as the oracles of God. If anyone ministers, let him do it as with the ability which God supplies, that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom belong the glory and the dominion forever and ever. Amen." So that tells us that everyone has a gift. Everyone has been given a gift, and we're to use it. We're to use it in the church. We're to use it for the glory of God. And that gives the church an incredible set of strengths. As Gary talked yesterday about the church being a diverse group of people, all coming together as one, that means that we're able to minister in all different ways. And you may have read 1 Corinthians 12 yesterday, and that tells us that we have different gifts but the same Spirit, different ministries but the same Lord, different activities but the same God who produces the gifts in people. And so that's a reflection. The church is a reflection, isn't it, of the Godhead, the different ministries of the Godhead, the Father, the Son and the Spirit, yet they're perfectly and completely united. So everything that the church does, every ministry that the church does, is to glorify God. And that's what that little passage in 1 Peter 4 tells us, that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. And that's the thrust of the church. So whatever gift we have, we need to use it in the church, and that will build us up as a body, and that will stop us falling away if we use our gifts. And so as we think about and are thankful for the ministries we have in the church, it may also be worth thinking about the gifts that we have and whether we are using them in the church for the glory of God.
Well, thank you, Chris, for bringing and sharing that devotional with us this morning. It's great, isn't it, to be able to prepare our hearts for this second day of our week of prayer that we're having. Today we're going to be particularly thinking about the various ministries within the life of the church that go on week by week. So that's ladies, that's mums and tots, that's juniors and youth, that's the coffee morning, and of course Sunday school. Obviously this year has been incredibly challenging for all of those ministries. Some of those ministries haven't been able to meet at all. Some of those ministries have made the most of online opportunities, as well as being able to meet in person as and when restrictions have allowed them to meet. But as we begin this day, and as we particularly think about those ministries, let's be praying for each and every one of those ministries that go on within the life of the church. Let's be praying for the leaders of each of those ministries. Pray that they might have much wisdom and guidance as they seek to run these ministries during this time, and as they plan for the future when perhaps restrictions might be lifted. Let's be praying for those who come along to those meetings, particularly those perhaps that we've lost contact with, those that perhaps haven't engaged with online options that we've put out there. or maybe some of them haven't been able to join because those particular groups haven't met during this time. Let's be praying for each and every one of those who come. Let's be praying that the things that perhaps they've heard and experienced during their time as part of those groups won't have just been lost. The things they've heard about Jesus, the things they've experienced as they've joined together with us, that they won't just have forgotten all of those things, but that we'll be able to renew our contact with each and every one as and when we're able to. Let's be also praying particularly for the ministry as we seek to share the good news of the gospel. That is our primary aim as we do all of these various ministries. It's to build friendships with people, and it's also to share the great love of Jesus, to demonstrate the love of Jesus as we minister to them and as we engage with them and as we put on these various things. Let's be particularly praying that in whatever we do, however we meet, however they're meeting at the moment, that our ultimate desire as leaders and as a church would be to glorify God as we minister in these various areas. Let's be prayerfully, let's pray that we would continue to have a real burden for the lost, a real burden to share the good news of the gospel within those ministries and as we're able to. And let's be particularly praying that we would continue to find new ways during these lockdown times of keeping in touch and keeping in contact with these people and continuing to minister and to share the love of Jesus as we seek to continue through these times. They're just suggestions to you. Please feel free to pray wider than that. But let's be praying today specifically for these ministries that go on within the life of the church. God bless.